40. Pass out. Ready?
Sir.
Sure.
Yes, sir.
All right. This is attempt number what? 562.
These three soldiers are facing the sack from their commando course. They've so far failed to complete a Royal Marines battle fitness test.
That way turn.
This is their last chance.
Double park. No more fanning around. Just get up there, get up the ropes first time. Remember the technique on the ropes. Power is the game. You get on and you climb as fast and as hard as you can.
Everyone who wears a green beret has passed this test. If you don't grasp the shackle at the top of the 30-foot rope, you fail.
That's it. Control it. Well done.
Xavier! Who?
Xavier!
Down you come.
Casey! Casey!
Yes, down you come. One to go.
Keep working hard.
Get your hands high. 2 shifts, that's all. 2 shifts. Keep working.
Keep working.
Don't
Knees
stop
up to your
moving.
head.
Keep working.
Don't stop.
Don't hang there like a Christmas decoration. You've got to keep working. The longer you stay hanging there, the more you're going to blow your arms out. The more harder it's going to be. Get that hand back on the rope. Get your hand on the rope. Get up. Nice fireman impersonation. Don't fall in, cover down, ready to go. The direction you travel is upwards. That's been his stumbling block. I think this is his 4th or 5th attempt down here, and he's never yet got to the top of the ropes. And despite the sort of ever widening goalposts, there comes a time where you have to cut off and say, no, you're not going to do it, and pack and get rid of them. Stand by! Go!
Now the trio must run the Lympston Commando assault course in less than 5 minutes.
We expect the guys who come on the all-arms course to be physically and mentally prepared for it in all ways. So they should be able to pass the Army or the Royal Marines BFT on day 1. People who can't do that, I'm afraid, are going to have a major problem in the next 6 weeks of the course.
Were there any points in him as well? So I think he had a cloud over him because of that weapon incident.
The recruit course training team are meeting to consider the case of Snezell, who took another man's gun during a test exercise.
To be honest, the whole yacht was a nightmare.
Snezell took the gun after his was removed by an instructor after Snezell fell asleep. They could fail him and throw him off the course.
I believe that you stitched up. This is what you've done, stitch up your offer. You actually took someone else off. You did.
The thing I noticed about him, though, I think after that, I gave him a bit of a bollocking, and I think I got the impression he was trying quite hard after that to make amends. So then it's easy to.
Yeah, but what else can he do?
Yeah.
He's got to try and impress, hasn't he? He's got to try and improve himself.
Carriage of weapon.
You reckon?
Yeah.
I mean, if he did that in a unit, it'd be filled in. Seriously.
If he doesn't go, I think he should be charged for that incident, at least.
That might be the way forward, though. Charge him for that and then let him through. There's something funny about failing on the exercise on the strength of one little isolated incident.
There's a lot of little things.
I'll speak to Captain Williams.
Reach! Yeah! And again, one more, come on!
Grip the bar!
On the all-arms assault course, Lieutenant KC is in trouble.
And again. The idea, anybody can get out there and perform fresh. And that's not what we're looking for. We're looking for a guy, because when the poo hits the fan, it always happens at the end of whatever arduous task you've done. So that's when you have to be able to perform it, and that's what we're looking for. So there is a wearing down factor in training.
You know, the all-arms commando course, the pass rate is not good. It runs at about 30%. The fact is, the all-arms commando course are only here for 8 weeks. 2-week intro and 6-week course. He comes straight into what is, in effect, commando training the last 6 weeks of a 30-week course. So he's going to find it very hard. He might never have done anything like we're going to ask him.
4:51! Kit off, jog down to the bottom. Again, another epic, but piece of piss, really, isn't it?
Oh, don't grab the shackle, leave yourself over the top.
Where's the dead body? Come on then, Mr. Lewis, on your legs up. Already gone down the tube.
Lad, all the way over.
Come on, let's go
They
then.
do push people a little bit.
Stand up straight. Leave
Depending on what they see, I
yourself
suppose.
over
If
the top,
they see a guy that can't hack it, they'll push him, and yeah, and he'll break.
All the way in, all the way in. 6:35.
Lewis has failed and will be sent back to his unit.
Not the best time in the world, in fact. The phrase that comes to mind is a clucking hail.
Without a green beret, he must now face the men he commands on exercise in Norway. There's a sense of shame.
Pig sick. Pig sick. That's something I wanted to do for a long time. When I first joined my first unit out in Germany, my second in command was used to be the RSM of a Commando unit, and he first really got me interested in the Marines. So actually to fail it is a real downer.
We'll turf them up.
I knew it was something I was weak on. I'd been practicing it for 3 or 4 months prior to going on the course, and I'd been getting up to a particular set of ropes at our barracks without any problems. I don't know what actually happened on the day. It just didn't happen.
Root for the knees. On the way. Go on.
The 30-foot ropes have always been there as part of the battle physical test. Believe it or not, 30 foot's quite a long way up. It's a long way to climb to put your hand in that shackle at the top, and it's a long way to fall down. So once again, it's a test of mental ability, agility, or whatever, as well as physical courage.
Just hang there. Get up there.
Get that hand back on the rope! Get your hand!
A great psychological difference I find between the recruits that we have here and the guys that come on the all-arms. It's just the want factor. If you wanted it enough, then you'd be able to dig deep enough and come up with the goods.
Well, I mean, I don't know. When I'm 25 foot up that rope, I don't think it's whether it's in the mind. I know it's my arms are hanging out and I'm just hanging on for dear life. Possibly. My lads think it's in my mind, but we'll soon find out.
The debate about Snezell has now moved upwards to the office of the recruit's commanding officer.
How long has Snezell been with you?
He was a week 26 man, I think, as well.
Right, so he's been with you a couple of weeks.
Yeah, well, he joined a week before the exercise.
Yeah.
Lieutenant Gillies wants tough action, but favours keeping Snezell on his commando course.
Tests. I don't think he's got a gnat's chance of passing the commando test, to be honest.
Right,
And the only thing that worries me for his own sake, whether...
But it is now for Captain Williams to decide.
I would have failed on the... If he hadn't done that, he wouldn't have failed the exercise.
Right.
But I just feel there's something badly wrong there when a guy steals, basically, one of his awful weapons. I'd like to charge him or something.
I think we probably put him under a bit of pressure, actually, to take him his weapon away.
But even so, to fail a man for final X as a punishment is not the right way to go about it.
No, I agree.
I think it's enough to... It's on a different channel. I think it's enough to... I think be chucked out of court, to be honest, but it's not. It's a separate matter.
But I think what we've got to bear in mind is even on the final exercise, these guys are still under training. Right, and they're still making mistakes. I mean, even in as you know as well as I do, the guys make mistakes.
But yeah, he basically stole one of his opposed weapons. And I'd rather have a guy who couldn't soldier at all than a guy who you couldn't trust.
I can imagine him being absolutely thunderstruck when he woke up and found that he had everything except his weapon.
Yeah. He needs a good shake-up.
Right. How many could you give him, mate?
Because he does.
He said, I mean, it is.
Leave it with me, sir.
Little bit of feeling.
200 metres, 90 seconds. Switch off here. Let those do the work. They will work until they die. That's what stops you. All right? So kill that for now. Use these.
The third part of the BFT. The remaining 2 men must now fireman's carry each other.
No, you'll be starting at that end. What's up, Bill?
It's an optical illusion.
It's a trick of the mind. Uphill in both.
Really, the young Lieutenant KC, that he decided that it was uphill in one direction and downhill going the other way, and he wanted the downhill crack at it, which I suppose is a prerogative, but it doesn't happen in real life. You take whatever hill life throws at you. And the moment he was told that he was taking the uphill leg, that's when he gave up. That's when he'd been beaten.
Keep going! Keep going! Keep going, Casey!
Come on!
Come on, keep going.
Keep it moving!
Start working, start working.
Come
start
on,
working. Come on, speed your legs up.
Well done, good
Come on.
Here it goes, Casey. Come on. 1, 2, and there you go.
Get up. Suck in then, get up.
Stand up.
Get up. What's the idea of casualty, half cleaning yourself over 200 metres, and then ditching him on the deck? Not a good one, is it?
That's right.
It's like St John's ambulance getting into hospital kicking 7 bells out of you in the car park. Quite a waste of time. And stop feeling sorry for yourself. Get your head in gear, get behind this. Line out.
It's easy enough test just doing it on the day. You get a good. Just lately you're feeling drained, got your money. You just get bad days. You're doing so much fizz. You just sort of like, you get up in the morning, you sort of. But luckily I got on a good day.
Back to the knee, arm out.
The last part of the test.
You may celebrate mildly when you get to the other end.
Only Private Xavier is doing well.
Not too loud a hurrah, though. Let's do it, Mr. Casey. Let's go.
Well, the fireman's carry I find very, very hard on the legs. And then I was very physically drained from doing that when I went to the regain. I've done that before, though. It's a question of putting the whole thing together, actually, on the day. You know, it's not enough to be able to do each individual thing one time. You've got to do it all at once.
Come on, Casey. It's only a half-hour programme.
Let's do it, come on.
That's so
Down.
Right, bend your arms and then put your leg on. Do one heave.
You have mentally given up.
Bend your arms.
Good bend of the arms, yes.
That's normally they've got a bendy bit in the middle, not straight.
Name!
Casey.
Rank!
Lieutenant.
Regiment!
Full call transport.
Just get that clear. Right, at you get, far end. The Royal Corps of what?
Judo.
Judo. Royal Corps of Submarines, get out.
The test itself isn't that hard. It's what you've been doing the rest of the week. Because you just, by the time you come and do it, the test itself is easy, but you're still drained from the week.
KC will return to his unit. But for Xavier, the single success, there's little joy. He's angered Sergeant Morgan with his remark about the BFT being easy.
Xavier, put 3 stop in the tank, saying the tests are easy. Now.
Right, Xavier. That'll be you wet then.
Do it now, Mr. Lewis, go on.
Come on!
Chazelle, there's 2 reasons why people come to see me. One is to get a big praise, or the other is to get an ear bashing. Guess why you're here?
Ear bashing, sir.
Right, talk to me about it.
I was,
Look at me, son.
I was on ammo weapon on slung, and one of the training team took it off me. And then I went looking for the weapon. I went to the next shell scrape, there was a weapon there, so I took it, sir.
Why did you do that?
Just shock and panic, sir.
You don't go looking for other weapons to take, you report the fact that your rifle has gone missing. Then we can do something about it. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Now, I'm going to warn you, you may well be charged. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Good. Now wrap the fuck around your big ears. All right? Out.
Dartmoor, with just a few days to go before the actual commando tests begin, both courses take to its extremes. The weather is foul, but sickness and injury is the greater enemy.
All the exercises up to now, they've had dry weather until the last day, and most exercises have been completely dry. This exercise, the weather's been absolutely appalling, and I think that's taken its toll on them a little bit. I'm a bit shocked at the severeness of the weather in Dartmoor.
The recruits' yomp ends with a dawn attack on a Napoleonic fort. They've snuck in under cover of darkness, but the defending enemy have spotted them on the skyline. A mistake. For these young recruits, this is the nearest thing to real war.
You cleared that end? Yeah. What are they clearing the other end then? Let's get the section down there, let's get them moving.
Section 2, down this way, come on!
Come on, come on! Down this way, this way!
Section, you understand?
Yeah, and there was no talking between the guys, so nobody knew exactly what they were doing. Yeah, they needed the section commander to take charge, tell them where to go, because they won't go unless he tells them, and that's why I was sort of giving him a bit of a hard time to get that speed and momentum going.
Lack of leadership will not hurt the chances of a pass. Allowances are made when too much pressure is applied.
They're not trained as section commanders, they're trained to be Marines in a unit. Therefore, although they are made in charge, they're put in charge of a section, we can't really expect them to control the whole thing adequately. So really the training team's there to chivvy them along a bit and give them a bit of guidance.
8 a.m. Most of the recruits now only have to pass the 4 Commando tests to get a Green Beret. But for some, there's nothing to celebrate. They haven't come up to scratch and face expulsion from this troop.
Overall, I think they've done adequately, really. I don't think they've done particularly well. And there have been times when they've been pretty bad.
On another part of Dartmoor, the all-arms course are also on their final exercise, a 12-mile load carry.
In weather like this, when the kit gets wet, that increases the weight they've got to carry in the first, or anyway. And if you carry more weight, then it puts more stress on your feet. And we've had 2 people who've had to go out because of knee injuries that have reoccurred, just because they're carrying 60, 70 pounds or more in some cases.
Okay, some of these packs now weigh more than 100 pounds.
2-minute break. Send it on.
The route has been carefully chosen to hit every steep hill on Dartmoor.
Right, 2 minutes, gents, then we've got another one coming up.
Another big hill?
Yeah.
Sergeant Major Dobson has been given the task of command.
Yeah, I can't take it. Oh, I want to wrap.
Dobson is struggling to stay on the course. The injury he sustained during the abseiling death dive is taking its toll. Painkillers keep him going.
I think it's true to say that nobody finishes the all-arms course without an injury. I mean, I certainly know I finished it in you know, I had tendinitis in my feet, and Achilles tendinitis. Really, there aren't many guys that come out of any training here without some form of minor injury, albeit that they will, you know, they'll get better as soon as they stop the intensive physical. But, I mean, in a way, that's part of the course, really. It's learning, it's personal administration, it's learning to look after yourself and be able to look after yourself in the field.
Sapper Roach, an army diver, has overdone it. The instructor is worried because they've already had 1 man hospitalised, Private Thomas.
Someone's sticking pins all up on the chest and on the back and the neck.
He had to be taken off Dartmoor in a hurry.
But it appeared that he wasn't particularly sensible, and when he was very wet, he put more clothing on and then wrapped himself up inside his bivvy bag. So he had respiratory problems, and we sorted him out from that and then took him into the hospital in Plymouth yesterday.
Just got in my bivvy bag, and that was the last I could remember, because just like I was hyperventilating and things. So and I had a pain across my chest when I was breathing, so the teams took me straight down to the hospital to have some tests and all that. So at that point I was a bit concerned.
It was the jump across the moors on Tuesday night, was it?
That was horrendous.
Well, one of the blokes got injured and we bashed it up, or bivvied up on the top of the moor. I mean, their search party was out after some kids and that. It was, weather was really atrocious, you know. Really was.
How far was it?
That then?
No, the one the other day.
12 mile. 12 mile, cross country. That was the one. That's why everybody's tired now. It's, you know, everybody's hanging out a bit from before.
You got soaked, all the sleeping bags are soaked wet through. I'm just trying to dry it out in your wet sleeping bag. It doesn't really work.
This is a nightmare.
Dobson must now keep his men occupied, lest they dwell on their aches and pains.
Line there, so there's some gorse.
But you'll find with what a lot of the lads are doing is they'll they'll pick up a niggling injury within the first couple of weeks. They don't like the weather, they don't like the harshness of the course, they don't like the running around, the cold and the wet. And they'll go to the sick bay with this injury, which they could quite feasibly carry on with, get themselves a medical RTU kit, go back to their units, and then the blame's off them, turn around and say, look, well, I had to go, I was medically RTU'd, when really, if they'd have really wanted it, they could have carried on.
The training centre's own Commando doctors see things from a different perspective.
We need to change the way those forces are on your legs slightly by maybe adjusting. The nature of the training is such that most people are so highly motivated, they do everything in their power not to end up here. But inevitably, it is sanctuary for some people, and we have to take them into here for their own protection sometimes, just because they're so keen themselves, is that if we don't hold them back, they just destroy themselves.
What the medics fear most is injured men overusing pain-killing pills as a means of staying on the course.
It's already down for one section, okay? You get to the stage where you'll do anything, you've got to be a bit careful with them. But rather than go off the course, and even though you're masking injuries, you'll do anything you can to try and stay on.
The pill popping is widespread and not always entirely legit.
And then what?
Well, no, I had a Achilles tendon problem, which gave me a lot of jip, and I had to take some tablets as well. Yeah. Well, made it a lot easier. I could have done it without the tablets, but you know, it made it a lot harder.
I love that man's fucking piece.
You didn't give me
My legs need.
A couple of people fall there. I'm bothered with the...
If a man has got a problem that is causing him pain, then it needs to be sorted out. It might be that he needs, that he's then prescribed painkillers by a doctor, but we're very careful that people don't use painkillers to hide problems that have otherwise not been diagnosed. It is something that we need to keep a close eye on.
Some say it helps, but like, see everybody taking painkillers and all that, but I don't think it helps. I think it's more of a psychological thing. Like if you think you're taking a painkiller, you think, oh, like the pain's going to go away, but it never does in the end. It always stays. No.
On Dartmoor, the all-arms final exercise nightmare is drawing to a close. Time at last for reflection and repairs.
Your feet and your back, webbing burns. Starting to get a bit worn down.
The bottom of my foot's just like a bag of water just now. Apart from that, not bad. Looking forward to getting into scran.
Your body takes a lot of punishment as well. Your feet do, your back does, and you're very, very tired, and you're wet all the time anyway. So you become very, very run down. Mentally drained as well.
It's hard, but it's not meant to be easy, isn't it? You can see the Commando test's actually starting to come on now. We're down to 16 guys now. So we'll see.
Okay, listening. Right, exercise. Fairly hard exercise, weather-wise.
The recruits are also waiting to hear who goes on to the Commando tests.
Weather affected morale, and when things were going to ruts, it was large.
What they don't know yet is that the training team are worried about the numbers who look like failing at this point.
And you'd wrapped. But a large percentage of your personal admin needs to get squared away before you're fit to go to a unit. It's not just a matter of a bollocking from the training team, it's people's lives that are at stake.
Well, we started with 33. We took 3 off the yump. Partly through injury, partly through fatigue or lack of ability to complete the yump. We'll still have a final talk about it, but I think probably a further 2 are looking at failing the exercise.